Welcome to the CCA bonus. We have a guest visitor who's gonna be coming in. Can you do it again?
Oh, there he is.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Tui.
Um, but yes, Tui is doing well. Hi, everybody who's watching. And yeah, he's good. He's gaining a lot of weight like really fast. And so all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, you're
Is it? He will be before you know it. He'll literally look like a butterball. My nephew, who is 26, I think we have either it was Thanksgiving or Halloween that we have a photo of him literally like holding his ankles, and he literally looked like a butterball baby turkey
it
kind
really,
of.
yeah, I took a photo with him today on the porch and he's got this double chin and just like this, like, yeah, it's pretty funny. But when he was born, he was like right so skinny and tiny, and then he's gone wild. So, anyways, that's a little update for everybody who's watching. We're doing well. We're getting a little bit more sleep. I'm not like the first few weeks I was really exhausted, and now I feel more just like I could use a little bit more sleep, but I don't feel like incapacitated. So I feel, yeah, like I can function through the day, but I would prefer it'd like be nice to get a full night of sleep, but I'm also a mom and I'm like, I don't think that's coming for a while, so that's fine. But
And
I
yeah,
get cumulative like 7 to 8 hours a night, and so I'm just like that seems pretty good. I've definitely met some other moms who are not getting that, so I feel grateful that we
or as an adult who's gone back to her parents at times, there was like what was it? I think I was early 40s or whatever. And I went back, he was staying under my parents, right? And I had went out with some friends. It's like, I'll be home around 11:30. And I didn't get back to like midnight. And my dad the next day was like, I didn't fall asleep until like I heard you come in, even though like the last 20 years I had not lived under his roof. And as a newspaper reporter, we were in places and doing things he did
yeah,
not know it, but he didn't see it, he didn't hear it. But the fact that I
no,
was out late with friends, even got to do it was like, and that's the whole thing. Like I'm with my
yeah,
parents, my sister is the same things. Like they don't see it, they don't know. But when
yeah.
you're under their roof, however old you are with
They
your
always know. They can feel. Yeah, my parents are the same way. They're always like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, you don't know what I'm doing most of the time. So like, well, all of a sudden, in proximity, they're like, I must know what you're doing. What time
yeah,
you'll be home. Yeah, yeah,
especially as a reporter, so I was doing like nights and into neighborhoods that I wouldn't go as a person, but I had to go if there was some kind of like
totally.
shooting or
Yeah,
something,
for
right?
sure. Yeah, for
Or
sure.
but it was just so funny, and I was like, and my sister's just like, it's the parent thing is
They can't
the
turn the
antenna.
brain. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. Like I feel that way with him. I can, I'm always like, oh, what's going on? Yeah. Anyway, but he's with dad. So we're good today. And so let's do this. Let's start with wins. And I just would love to hear like share wins. And we can just actually talk wins out. And I would just like love to hear like any like quick updates. I know we'll get the updates as we coach, but I would love to hear just like how things are going. So who would like to go first with wins and a little quick update?
Jenny, why don't you go first?
Wins. Well, I guess subjectively, a win is I feel like I've gotten more patient with the environment and situation, including job hunt that hasn't gone my way, but I've learned to appreciate what I have and still
Mm,
be happy in putting in, 100% to where I can. And and
that's a
and,
win.
and really respecting the boundary of like, I'm going to shut down at like I've been doing a lot of the I'm gonna shut down at 6 o'clock, take advantage of the California sun that we pay for, and for like a 40-minute walk and then come back. And if I have to be back on the computer to work, I'll do that. But I'm trying to just shut that off, and still stay positive and still apply to jobs and still continuing the search. So I think maybe more less of an update on like measurable progress, but I think definitely when on I'm feeling more mature, I guess, or more calm. My personality.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've made a huge transition. So it's yeah, I mean, you're still very early into it. So good job. Yeah, you're like on track. I know how long it's been because you basically moved like the week before Tui was born. So like I know
Yeah.
exactly how long you've been down there. Yeah.
Still getting used to California.
Totally. It's totally different. It's a different vibe. Everything about it is different. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And like the Bay has its own thing too. And if you think about it too, like, we'll be doing work into the harvest, but if you think about the field itself too, like you're in a different field. Like Seattle has a very particular field, the Bay has a particular field. And so,
Mhm.
you're just like, yeah, you're in that. It's more intense down there, is what I'd say in terms of work and like the way people are, traffic. There's more people there. And California is like so many people. I
They're
mean,
not as polite as Seattle.
yeah. Yes, they're not as polite. They're like, get out of my way. And like I always, this is like my favorite fun fact that like California has more people than the entire country of Canada. Like it's just so many people. So if you,
Yeah, and because I work
and
for the Energy Commission, all the numbers, it's we're the fourth largest economy in the world.
right,
That's right.
like
Yeah.
In
yeah,
the world. So like again,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot going on in California. So just, for you, like that's also the adaptation is to that field. So, just remember that for yourself.
Yeah.
Jenny, one question, you've been in Seattle and for so long, what's the how to say this nicely? What's the bro culture that's different from Seattle versus the Bay Area? Just,
You
I because
know,
yeah.
yeah, I actually I would say I'm probably not a good person to ask because I don't hang out with the bro with the tech bros.
But the tech culture, but just the tech culture that's different. I mean, there's a different vibe. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
and enjoy
mean,
actors, yeah.
I feel like I don't hang out with tech bros. Even when I hang out with like Ray's friends, like he deliberately shies away from like the traditional tech bros. But I do feel like people that I meet in the Bay Area, I don't know if it's true for all of California, right? But like in the Bay Area, they care more. I even find myself talking more about money and
Mm.
um like even opportunities are measured in compensations, right?
Yeah.
And it's about like it's a lot more about achievements, whereas in Seattle people talk more about like fun, how they're passionate about their jobs and less so about compensation. I feel like comp and money just comes up less common in Seattle. I mean, we still joke about it because I've got a couple of friends who are very into investment. So we talk about money all the time.
Yeah.
But in
Mhm.
terms of investments, um, yeah, but it definitely feels like people judge you in the Bay for what you drive and where you live. I was like,
Mm.
wow, okay. most
Yeah.
most women that I run into on the street, I when I observe them, because I got nothing better to do, I guess. There's some brands that like everybody will have some brand on them, especially I feel like in the Bay, in the peninsula. It's like they're all about even the biotech people, like my people who in Seattle are probably like they would come in with a plastic bag if they could. But like my biotech people, I went to a conference 2 weeks ago, 2 weekends ago, in South San Francisco, and half the people came in with some sort of designer bag. I was like, seriously, I came in with like a backpack,
You're very Seattle.
I am very Seattle that way. But like, so I'm in Boston at a conference this week. And Boston's kind of like what Seattle was like. Like people come
Yeah.
in backpacks and like, I mean, I started showing up to conferences without bags now. And so, but no, like the Seattle, the Bay Area conference was very like, I have to show off that I have certain, I don't know.
Things. Yeah, no.
Mm.
And I again where my parents now live, with just South of Market, and it is the whole DoorDash culture, the kid yeah, and just as someone who's grown up there and see that change, but also when I've visited Seattle, like how people dress, right?
Yeah.
Again, the North
Yes.
Face, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, the North Face, the Panagonia, like it's all, whereas like Seattle's like, oh yeah, yay.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks, Jenny, for the update. I love it. I love it. It's good, right? And like I am celebrating you being patient with the job hunt and all of that because it's all moving forward, right? Even if it doesn't always feel like it.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you, Sandy? Wins update?
I think and this is I was working when processing with Chelsea at the last call, our last but basically being like the discerning and detaching part of it. The same thing, like I'm still working hard, but after being acting, I don't want to repeat that kind of rhythm and setting priorities, whether it's like taking a break or just continuing my baths. So, and that's something I've talked to my staff, like I'm logging out, and especially it's not my job. So with my new boss, it's like whatever she needs, because like today she was like, all these things were coming, and like, let me be operational and help you what I can help you. But at the end of the day, she's the one that communicating with the governor's office or those above us, right? And weirdly, there may be another appointment opportunity, but again, I'm gonna do my due diligence and explore it, because I've heard that work environment is not good. So at the end of the day, like me, I'm realizing money is good, but my sanity and my boundaries and being detached is much, much more important. So it's not that I'm not ambitious or don't want to kind of move up, but and especially now having done that acting job for 3 months, I know what that job and what that toll is. I'm not sure I won't want to be doing that right now for
Yeah.
all different reasons. It's not that
Yeah.
I know I can do the job, but do I want that job? So I'm
And
gonna
you can
again,
make money other ways, Sandy.
yes,
There are
Yeah.
lots of other ways to make money.
yes,
Yeah.
and then that's the kind of stuff. So and so like again, I'm really conscious of my hours are my work hours, and like what I need to do today. Other things can wait. I have two managers out that both are family situations. They had to take time off. And I basically said, I'll step in and let my manager know, hey, I can check it when they're staffed to make sure there's anything that's going on that they need a manager to step in, so that deflect people and say no for them. So, and then I put other things off as I could be doing, but right now this is what I can do. And that's been really helpful, because like, at the end of the day, we can only do what we can do, and being really, really more protective of my time. And also I've been doing the last couple of weekends too, is as part of my effort just to be out and about and engage with people. I've gotten like, there was like California's 170th birthday, so I went to a museum and then art museum, and so I've been like consciously doing that. And as we talked about, Nicole, not doing it with friends, just literally go out, enjoy a couple hours, meet people, and I'm so
Good.
that's something I'm consciously making sure I do.
Awesome. Good
So
job, Sandy.
yeah,
That's a great win. That's amazing.
yeah,
Awesome. And then just, yeah, having that discernment about your next steps for work is super important. So I love that for both of you.
yeah.
Okay, amazing. Well, I don't know about you. It doesn't feel like fall really in Seattle yet. It's like still really hot. It's probably, I've heard it's really hot in California.
It's like
So
100 degrees yesterday.
yeah,
Yeah.
everyone might feel, but 3 days ago, it did turn into fall. And, we're in this season, like, so our summers is about like those precious memories and like storing those up for the winter. And then the fall is really where we're coming into our harvest. And this is where we get to start to bring in those fruits of the harvest. Like people have been dropping off like various things for us, and we got some tomatoes from someone. Like we're just starting to get that bounty from the summer and like all the growth. And so just the reminders of it, like I love this season, like being in that seasonality. Like I was like, oh, right, on Monday, I was like, it is the fall. Like we're having that change energetically, like that big energetic shift is important to remember. And now is when we get to really remember that we get to bring in all the effort and work and stuff we've been doing from the year. Here's the time where it comes back to us. So on the actual practical front, like this is the time to like be eating your pumpkin pie. And like if you think about what we're doing, it's like we're going out into the field. So like if you actually went to like a pumpkin patch, you would go out into the field and you would like select your pumpkins and you'd bring them back to make your pie or to make jam. And you're really wanting all of those like really lovely seasonings like cinnamon and nutmeg and allspice and all the stuff that goes into pumpkin pie. Like this is the time to be eating those things. So chai, like that's another great alternative if you're like not into pumpkin pie. I used to not really like pumpkin pie, and then I learned it was important, so then I became a pumpkin pie eater, and now I like it. But chai is one of my favorite ways to really get that warming feeling in, right? So just a reminder of like the practical side of it. It's like, oh, it's chai season. Like I know everyone else is like, I mean, whatever. If you like the pumpkin spice lattes, those obviously also have those spices. I don't drink those, but like you could have it in lots of different forms. So just remembering like it is that time to kind of get cozy and even if the outside weather doesn't feel that way, it's like that internal warmth is building up at the time. And then, yeah, and what we're doing too today is to look at the harvest. And it's, we're really bringing, again, we're going out into the field. And what we're looking at now is like, like when sometimes you have a pumpkin and you turn it over and it's actually rotted on the bottom. So we're looking for things that are like, we want to get our correct pumpkins into our wheelbarrow and we want to leave behind the ones that have rotted bits or things that are like not serving us so that when we are really reaping our harvest, it's like, the beautiful, perfect, awesome things that you're like, oh yeah, like I'm so excited to have that in my pie or in my home. Like if you're somebody who decorates for the fall and like does the cornucopias, like you would want the really beautiful pumpkins for some that kind of thing. And then you also want to remember about the fall that whatever you don't deal with this fall comes back around to bite you in the spring. So we always want to, I know, it's always like, I used to always be like, oh, seems so scary. Like, what if I don't deal with everything correctly? But that's why we do the harvest because we want to make sure that we are dealing with everything correctly now so that in the spring we don't have it come back and then we have to like kind of readdress it essentially. So it's like we get circular about it. Um, so for example, like whenever like so if like in the fall, like last year when we were at Whitby, like we had very specific things that we were to deal with. And when you don't deal with them, you might notice it comes back around again. Like it's like you kind of table it for the winter and you're like, that's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden in the spring, you're like, oh, I'm dealing with this again. Like that's an example of it. So we just want to always watch ourselves with these field choices of like, okay, what's happening so that we can get ourselves back into the correct place. So they're playing bells in the next room if you're wondering what the background noise and sounds. I don't know if can you guys hear that? You
We
can't
actually
really hear it.
can't.
This is
Yeah,
what
it
good
blocks
mics
it
are
out.
for. Okay, this is how I'm asking all of you because this is going to be helpful for me down the road where I'm like, gosh, I feel so noisy, but you guys have no idea. So thank goodness for a good microphone. Okay. They're playing bells, so I can really hear it. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is really do the harvest. So what I'd love to do is have you guys, I want you to map it for yourself in terms of your numbers, and then we'll go through each of the harvests, okay? All right, so I have 4 questions for you, and then once we're doing our harvest, I'll put it in the chat, but here's how we start. Okay, first question. What am I currently harvesting that is incorrect for my life? How many? So the first thing you want to do is like, what am I currently harvesting that is incorrect for my life and how many? So start with the how many and then we'll identify. So I'm going to put that question in the chat. Okay. Oops. Okay, there's that number 1. Okay, so just get your number for that. And then the next one is how many correct things is it time to harvest that I have not harvested yet? So just listen for that number first. How many correct things is it time to harvest that I have not harvested yet? Identify. Okay. And then the third question, how many things have been stolen or lost that are part of my harvest? So like someone snatched it out of your wheelbarrow. How many things have been stolen or lost that are part of my harvest? And how many and identify. Okay, and then the last one is there a festival or celebration to attend or a right to celebrate? How many? Identify. I always love the festivals and celebrations. Those are fun.
Can't hear you anymore, Nicole.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
No, still can't hear me?
Now we can.
Oh, now you can hear me. Okay. Okay, great. I was like, I was talking and you guys weren't doing anything. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Your box was lit up, but
You can hear me.
you.
Okay. So I'm just looking for a map. So who would like to go first?
Sandy says I go. Okay, I can go first.
Andy's wanting you to go today, Jenny. Okay, so let's just get your map first. So how many incorrect things? Just the number.
I've been seeing a lot of fours lately. So
Four
four,
incorrect. Okay. Okay, great. And then how many correct things is it time for you to harvest?
two,
Two. Okay, and then how many things stolen or lost?
one,
One. Okay, and then how many festival celebrations or rites?
three.
Okay. Okay, right. And so I'm doing the whole thing at once because I wanted to just listen for the map and see. And so let me just check. Do we need to go to incorrect, correct? So we need to see what was stolen or lost first. So I'm just going to put this map in here. So is it stolen or is it lost?
It's lost, I feel.
Okay, so what's been lost from your harvest for the fall?
I want to say joy or yeah, joy.
Yes.
It's like joy is very broad. It's like the you know how like when as a kid, it's like that innocent joy was as a kid you go out to see colors of the fall. I remember this distinctly as since I grew up in New England. Seeing the color change used to be so happy because it's like, yay, it's so bright everywhere because the winter in New England is very sad. Um, but I feel like I've lost the ability to be in that state.
Okay, so your innocence and joy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and you just curious, you know where you lost it?
Where?
Or like when you lost it?
I can think of a couple occasions where I noticed I was losing it. Um, but I don't know if those were when I actually lost it. I
Yeah,
feel
and it
like,
could be from like one of the jobs didn't come through. It could be when you moved. It could be from the transition since you've been there, like, or it could be older. Um, but you've done a lot of work on stuff, so just it's good to check around and see.
yeah. Should we check? I feel like I kind of have two answers. I don't know which one's right. It feels pretty recent. Um, one is when my mom was here in Seattle,
Mm,
and then yeah, I just started noticing myself being very easily irritated
hmm
when I was back there in the middle of move and everything. And then the other situation was actually when Ray and I started having some really weird conversations uh, back in July. I mean, I guess both of these were technically in July.
They were
So
all
it's
in
like,
July.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's sometimes in July, but
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can't, yeah, I can't actually pinpoint whether I think it might have started with when like Ray made some comments that got me quite upset and angry.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And it just it made you lose your innocence and your joy. And
Yeah.
that's what we want back for you this fall so that you can really be in like the things that you're here to be and the things you're here to do. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so let me just check. Okay, so let's find out the first thing that you were harvesting that is incorrect. So what's the first thing? You have four things. This is the first thing.
Something I'm harvesting that's incorrect.
Yes, could be like anxiety. The examples are in there, like anxiety, being rejected, something you don't want.
Oh, being rejected. Yes.
Is being rejected? Okay. Yeah. So being rejected, like, is it job stuff? Is it also with Ray? Where is the rejection?
I think I think all fronts. Maybe that's why it's resonating so well. It's like with like jobs, um, yeah, it definitely feels like with Ray, and then as like to a certain degree, also feels like my parents.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. And then that's not you. It's just something that you put into your wheelbarrow and you just need to be like, that's not me.
Mhm.
Because the Jenny we know is not rejected. The Jenny we know is like coveted and everyone loves her and like wants to be around her and like has so much fun with you. And so just knowing that that's not you. Okay, there you go. That's what I'm doing. Okay. So what's the second thing you're harvesting that's incorrect for your life?
Um, the second thing is it almost feels like social anxiety. It's like anxiety, but very specific to um I'm trying to put it into words because I actually talked about this with a good friend of mine, where I realized like I'm okay with interacting with people, but I also have been much more picky with bringing people into my friend circle and actually connecting with people, like with people, new people that I meet.
Mhm.
And it almost feels anxious when I feel like, oh my gosh, like do I do I trust this person? Like that kind of thing.
Mm.
You know? So it's kind of like, yeah, it feels like um
Was it
maybe
distrust?
it's a trust issue. Like
I was
it's a
gonna say it
yeah,
feels more like trust.
yeah. Or like, yeah, incorrect, like a I guess the disbelief or the incorrect thing is that I can't trust other
Mhm.
others.
It was interesting. Michael and I were just talking about this, and trust is an interesting one because it's like trust is just simply a leap of faith, right? We have no idea, like, let's say in a relationship, like you have no idea if that person is going to be the committed partner who's loyal and faithful and all the things that you want when you do it, but you won't ever know unless you do it.
Mhm.
The only way to know if they're trustworthy is to trust them.
Yeah.
True of anybody, right? And then when you're in the relationship, then you would find out that answer. But sometimes we get into this place where we just don't want to trust. And so for you, it's like you're harvesting that distrust, and it's probably affecting also your ability to trust the right job is coming, that you and Ray are going to work out because you made all this effort to move out there. Like, can you see where it can come in where you're just like not trusting the pathway that
Mhm.
Happy Face has laid out for you?
Yeah.
And you're just like, and so it's just showing up more with like friends and people and like more of that surface stuff, but
Right.
it's this deeper level of like, I don't know if I trust what path I'm on now.
Yeah. 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 It's I think it's just showing up more with people because I've like because I'm in a new place, right? I'm
Mhm.
joining a new network of people, and so been meeting a lot of new people. But it's always like, okay, I've added your contact information, but I have nothing to say to you.
Right. Right. Because you don't know them
You
yet and
know?
it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw where was that? It was probably on social media somewhere, but there's like do you know how many hours it takes for someone to become a close friend? Do you know that number?
Like 100 hours,
200 hours. It actually
two
takes
hundred
200
hours.
hours. So it's like a combination of so the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, it's like a very popular self-help book. It's
It's been
really,
showing up on my Audible.
yeah, I actually really liked it. I thought she
Yeah.
like basically at first I was like, this whole book is just I am you are, but she has a bunch of other stuff in there that's actually pretty
Mhm.
helpful. And one of the things she talks about with relationships is its proximity, its energy, and then its time. And so the
Mhm.
200 hours is the time piece. And she's like, when you're younger, a lot of the time comes from at school, you have lunch together. At school, you're in class together. So it's like very easy to accumulate the hours. But when you get older, you have to intentionally spend the hours with people. And then it's like an
Mhm.
energy is like, is that an aligned space? And then proximity is also really important, like who's closest to you physically makes a big
Mhm.
difference for who you end up being friends with, right?
Yeah.
And so when you think about that, like for you, Jenny, you're in a place where you're starting from ground zero with a lot of these people. And so you
Mhm.
have to find the people you do have that energetic click with, but then you also have to invest time. And it's not going to
Yeah.
be simple necessarily. It's going to be like dating a little bit. You're like, okay, like I need to meet you, like, hey, who wants to go to a museum with me or who wants to go do this with me? And then that would build it over
Yeah.
time. So it takes like 40 hours to be an acquaintance, apparently, and then it's like 100 hours for something else, and then it's 200 for close. And these are like the lifelong friends who you have like with you forever. And they
Mhm.
aren't always who you think they're going to be because
Right.
that proximity and time calculus, because I have like really close friends from college who I don't talk to anymore because we lost the proximity
Yeah.
and they live in a weird place that's hard to get to. So we like never see each other anymore and we're just
Yeah.
not close, right? But we had the energy, time, proximity younger.
Mhm.
So can you see for yourself, it's like that distrust is showing you like you don't trust them, but you have no basis to trust them
Right.
because you didn't
Yeah.
have there's no time investment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also feels like there's like I'm struggling. It feels like an effort to try to I was listening to this audiobook called Super Communicators. Very interesting read because it talks about how you can quickly engage people in conversations and navigating right difficult conversations. Um, but it's interesting how one of the foundational theories in this is that you share something about yourself personally, and you invite the other person to share something more personally. But if I've gotten to the point where I was like, but I don't want to share anything super personal,
Well,
it feels like a conscious effort. And I don't know if that's just that's actually me not trusting myself and trusting that people are interested in what my life has been or what it is.
yeah.
Or like feeling like, am I showing off things? So I've been very lucky.
Well, you could also think about it this way, like part of being sharing something personal, like I think about like small talk versus like more meaningful talk. And
Mhm.
one of the ways like I always broke through this in dating is like I would ask people questions like what brings you joy? Because joy is like very specific and personal, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to tell them your whole life story. Like I think about I'm just gonna make it up like Jenny, you might be like rainbows. And then I'd be like, oh, well, like why do you like rainbows so much? And you're like, oh, I really love Hawaii. And you're like, oh, cool. I love Hawaii too. Like it just can
Yeah.
facilitate like a more meaningful conversation about an experience specific to that versus like, how many brothers and sisters do you have? Oh, you don't have any siblings. Oh, okay. Like you were raised in China. Oh, interesting. When did you come here? Which feels like a little bit like I'm just reciting my background to you
Yeah.
versus like what brings you joy will like start to elicit a little bit more interesting conversation.
Mhm.
So for you, it's like trusting that you have something to share that's not just about like your accomplishments.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's probably also, I'm just getting a sense for like that's the field of San Francisco a little bit too. Is like, oh, like I liked Seattle because no one cared where I went to college. But on the East Coast, like everyone wanted to know where you went to college. Like it was a resume thing, right? And I think for you, Jenny, is probably similar. But if you just start to approach it not from that place and you approach it from the place of connection and
Mhm.
trust, right? And will be interesting to see what you need in your correct harvest. But like this distrust is leading. So you're just sort of like, they just want to know my resume.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Versus actually, all people want connection,
Mhm.
all people want, and like not everybody wants friends, but like people all like, but if you're interesting enough or there's enough going on, and if you're proactive, this is what I found also in general. If you're proactive, people do respond.
Yeah.
And some people won't, but like there's in general, that tends to be what happens. Like there's an expecting moms group that I was in, and then now we have babies and nothing was happening. Like nobody was getting together and we were all kind of feeling isolated and lonely. So I was just like, okay, you guys come to my house, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, we'll all come. And they just needed someone to extend the invitation. And
Yeah.
so, and I am like, and Michael's like, you invited them to our house. It's like such a mess. I was like, I know, they're all new moms. Like, who cares? Like, it's fine. But it's just, do you see what I'm saying? But it's like we all want that, but we're just maybe not saying it or we're not willing to like put ourselves out there. Because I thought too,
Mhm.
I was like, what if no one comes? Like, what if no one says yes and I did it? But like, of course they said yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. So now let's go to your correct thing. So what's the first correct thing it's time for you to harvest that you have not harvested yet? So you haven't harvested this one yet.
Something that I have not harvested yet, but that's correct. I don't know. Like something I'm missing to see, right?
Yeah, so something you need to see. It could be really practical. It could be a job. It could be trusting the decision that you made to move there. Like, what is it that you need to harvest? It could be love. It could be deeper connection with Ray. Like, there's all kinds of things, right? So what is it that's time for you to harvest that you haven't harvested yet?
I think maybe maybe trusting the decision to move or the decision of taking this risk or no. Yeah, I guess it's the decision to move.
Okay. Yeah. That you need to actually harvest that. I
Yeah,
think that was correct.
it
Yeah.
was the right decision because I have been doubting myself on
Yeah. Okay.
like what if my next job was remote and then I didn't have to spend the extra it's $3,500 for me to live in the Bay on top, like just the housing. It's like, where am I gonna print that money?
Right. Right. Yeah. So you're just like, okay, yeah. But it's like for you, it's like harvesting because you haven't actually harvested that it was the decision to move was the right one.
No.
Yeah.
Especially, can I complain for a second? Sorry, I know we're in harvesting. Especially because like Ray made it look sound like or when we were talking, he made me feel like I wasn't welcome to move here. I was like, okay, now you tell me after I've moved all my stuff.
Mm,
Yeah, I was not happy.
yeah. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's not the right decision.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's just something that he probably just had like a moment where his like lower personality showed up because he was scared.
Or, I mean, I don't know. I've kind of gotten over some of this, where it's like maybe he's finally realized that he actually just liked his imagination of me, not like me actually being here.
I mean, that's possible. It is different to be deeper in the relationship, like that there's a distance when you have long distance that you don't have to deal with like some other parts of it. But you also like we all knew this, Jenny. Well, you and I mean, we've been talking about this. Like you would not know if the relationship is right for you or not until you moved. So
Right.
there's never going to be a wrong decision for you. The only way for you to ever know that is to be down there.
Mhm.
And if you move back in 6 months, and now you know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
just remembering for yourself. That's why you have to harvest that that was the right one because it's the only way you're going to find the answer
Right.
with that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. All right. So let's go back to the third thing that's
Correct.
incorrect that you're harvesting. Yeah. So what's the third thing?
What's the third thing that's incorrect? Um, oh, I think this one might have to do with my job because I feel like I've been saying it quite a bit, which is how do we say this? I guess I will describe it. What I've been saying or what's come up in my conversations with my friends with the job search is I am on paper um, in industry for much fewer years than my peers that are competing for the same roles, basically.
Mm,
And and we're talking like on average 10 years less experience,
hmm
right? Like 8 to 10 years less experience. Um, yeah, in a couple of the interviews where I've gone back like 3, 4 times, I've met the CEO twice. Um, and when the hiring manager called me, she was like, everybody really wanted to hire you there. It's just, like the other candidate was like already had 4 years of experience at the same level and they're making like they've been much longer in industry And I
Mhm.
was like, well, I can't just make up the years. Like, there's a
Right.
chance you're taking with me being much younger than my peers at the same title level. But I think that's kind of gotten to me in that the years of experience matters. And I can't, I guess it's more I can't make up time to
Right.
qualify for these roles that I think I already qualify for.
Well, is it that actually what you're harvesting is that you're not qualified?
I feel like from a skill and experience, like things I've done,
Mhm.
I do feel unqualified. And when I show up to interviews or when I talk to these hiring managers, I talked to a recruiter Monday night before I boarded the plane, and it was about something else. So I wasn't trying to kind of convince her that I was very capable. But she asked me about my years of um, experience in asking me to describe what it is. I was like, look, I've only been in industry for 10 years. I've been working for 3 companies and I've gotten at least 2 promotions in each company. And she's like, wow. Like, I was like, oh, like, isn't that normal? Like, this is what I've considered normal. I mean, I know I'm good at my job, therefore I feel qualified. But I think um, it's really the time, like the calendar time that I feel kind of
Well, it's almost
helpless.
like you're harvesting their what is it? Their belief that like you need to have put in more time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like an industry belief
yeah,
that you need more time to get these jobs.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Especially because I'm in a field where most people get their degrees, right? Like
Right.
much later in life.
Okay. Okay, good. That's a good one for you. I can feel that one definitely
Yeah.
moving for you. Okay, good. Good job. So I'm just checking. Okay, so let's go back. There's another correct thing for you to harvest. So what's the second correct thing for you to harvest? So now we've harvested that you have the decision to move is the right one. So what's the second correct thing for you to harvest? I kind of feel, I mean, I'm just curious, like, do you need to just like go get your relationship? Like, is there just something for you to figure out with Ray that you need to just harvest this fall?
That's correct. I've been, it's going to sound so bad to say, and we're on recording, but I've definitely been um, at the point where, like, my view of this relationship is now very black and white. If that makes sense. It's like, and what I've struggled with is he wants to stay in the gray,
Mm,
um, and we are not aligned on our definitions of the black or white or whatever you call it, like the one end, which is the like life partner family definition
mm.
of things. To the point where I've gone to the other extreme where I was like, we're like I think where I am, I don't know, maybe that's an incorrect one. Maybe I'm going back to
Could
incorrect.
be. Yeah. What, well, tell me what it is and let's see if it's incorrect or correct.
The um it feels it feels like the way I've been seeing this is at least how I've arrived at my own decisions for the about the relationship has been I can accept to be friends or accept to be true life partners where like I like I can be very vulnerable with him.
Mm,
Um, and like I don't have to play the guessing game, right? So and I struggled quite a bit in even getting to the we can be friends part because for me it has been even more black and white, which is we're strangers or we're going to be together forever type of person. But now I'm just like, okay, you're a good person, I know you care, and so I can be friends or that. But like I kind of want to get out of this whole like gray of dating relationship, but I'm not fully yet committed situation, and I feel like that's where he's been.
okay. Okay. So it feels like,
So I can't like I don't know. I don't know if it's incorrect or correct. Like, is it incorrect and then it has to be black and white, Or maybe the correct one is actually the um the clarity
Well,
around.
it actually does sound like you're clear about what you
I,
want
I think
in
so.
your life. And like him or not, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like in general, like you, it sounds like, so let's just check the correct piece. That for you, let's just like take Ray and all his stuff out of this.
Hmm.
Like, are you, Jenny, at a place in your life where you're like, actually, no, I know I want a life partner and a commitment, and like it's time for me to have that?
I think I'm clear on what ideal relationship or partnership is like. Maybe that's the correct harvest. The timing piece is more of a question mark because the recruiter I talked to was talking about moving back to China. So I don't know if now is a good time if I'm
Okay.
contemplating moving back to
Yeah,
China.
like, well, that's not what we're not, let's not like go down that route per se. But more like, and it's not even like you have to have it right now, but
Hmm.
you are, for the first time that I've heard from you,
Yeah,
clear that you want a life partner, and
yeah,
that's actually something you want. And whether you have it now or you have it in a few years, but that's actually
hmm,
something that you care about
yeah,
in your life. Is this true?
yeah. I
Is
think,
that feels clear to me.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, so yeah, because you haven't actually can you see how you haven't actually harvested that? You've been just sort of like, well, I'm just kind of like letting Ray work out his stuff so then I can see if but you actually, so like, because if we put you, let's just take Ray out of it, you just go out dating right now, you would say to that person,
Yeah.
I want a relation, lifetime, I want a partnership, whether it's marriage or what, like I want full like life commitment.
Yeah.
And you need to harvest that that's what you actually want.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, okay. Committed life partner. Yeah, because then now you can say, okay, like I need to harvest that for me, regardless of the person.
Right.
That's where the power will come from for you, Jenny.
Hmm.
And where you have been losing your power is you're letting Ray kind of dictate whether you get that or not.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Like when he starts to wane, like then I'm affected by it, right?
right,
When
when he
he's like,
waffles or whatever's going on for
yeah,
him. And then, so then what you're harvesting that's incorrect is letting his chocolates on your peanut butter, right?
yeah,
Like, or your, but he's like his stuff, his indecision, his whatever is going on is affecting your correct decision. Where she's like, I want a committed lifetime partner, and I moved here for that, right?
hmm,
And so I moved here for that. And then, you guys get to work out how that looks for the two of you. And it's not black and white, I would say this. And so I would say for you, that's actually probably what you're incorrectly harvesting is that your clarity is black and white.
hmm.
Um, like you're incorrectly harvesting this idea. I've been hearing the word rigid a lot from people towards me. And like, but you know what I mean? Like, cause
Yeah, me too. I
okay,
feel like
yeah,
it
like
applies
and
to
like
me too.
that you're rigid, but it's like you're not it's almost like you're incorrectly harvesting other people's um and like what is it their projection of you, like it's like other people's perspective, like ideas, thoughts, opinions, other people's opinions is what you're harvesting, right? Because it's an opinion that you're rigid, and rigid is not, and clarity are totally different things.
Hmm.
Rigid is like brittle, rigid is like I won't give, rigid is like like that's rigid.
Yeah.
But clarity is I know what I want. And if you're not aligned with me on that, then I'm going to go out into my life and get the thing that I do want.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And can you see how this is like muddling you and your ability to like, figure out what you want? And again, like we always said, the decision on the future of you and Ray had to come from you being there because that meant you were stepping into the commitment of this harvest. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh no, I want a life partner.
Hmm.
And like I thought it was gonna be Ray, and I hope it is Ray, and I would like it to be Ray. And he can either step up or not step up because that's
Right.
his choice, right? But
Hmm.
that doesn't affect your ability, Jenny, to go get what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is the other thing, and I always have to remember this. Like sometimes people say, like, oh, like I thought they were like my person forever, like, my soulmate, etc. And like I just remember this one coach always says, if they don't want the same thing that you want, they're not your soulmate.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter how well you get along and all the history and all that stuff. If they don't want the thing at the same time you want it, that's not it.
Yeah.
And so just, for you to be helpful because he may be fine. Like maybe you guys have 3, 4 more months. He's adjusted. Like you guys spend more time together. It might be like in 2026, he's like, oh, right. No, this is it. He totally could be, right? And we don't want to discount Ray for that, but we just also want to make sure that you're clear and you're in your power on that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like I've not thought too much about it. I kind of more focused around my own settling in
Yeah.
because part of it, like talk about rigid, right? Like because I was so black and white, I was like, well, I don't want to rush into completely dissecting a situation that had no way to be dissected because I'm not clear, because I'm still trying to figure out every aspect of my life right now.
Totally. There's a lot of moving
Uh,
parts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I would just say, like, other people's opinions of you being rigid, like, that's just their opinion. It's not true.
Mhm.
And I know you, and like, and the work that you have done on yourself. And I would say, actually, probably Jenny, when I met her, was rigid,
I was. I was
right?
very right or wrong. Like
Yeah.
there is no
There's
maybe.
no
It's
right.
just
Whereas now it's not rigidity. Clarity is not rigidity. So just don't let that get collapsed in.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so now we have festival celebration rights. Let's just check. Is the first one a festival, a celebration, or a rite?
Celebration.
Celebration. Okay, what do you need to celebrate?
I need to celebrate. Oh, I mean it's coming. I'm seeing my best friend from graduate school tomorrow since I'm in Boston.
Okay.
I think it's celebrating my like talk about lifelong friendships.
Yeah, totally celebrating a lifelong friendship. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few friends tomorrow after the conference ends, and these are people I haven't talked to probably since like pre-COVID.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but now you get to celebrate that you still have this relationship. Okay,
Yeah,
amazing. Good. Okay, and then the second one, is it a rite, festival, or celebration?
second one is a right.
Okay, and what's the rite? So rites could be writing, it could be a rite, it could be um RIGHT, right? So what is it? What's the rite for you?
Could it be like my right to my own path? Like the right to choose my own path?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it a celebrate? Is it something? Yeah, I think so.
No, that feels
Um,
right for you, like that right to choose your own path because you've been like you can see where like you've let other people choose that for you or tell
yeah,
you, right? Or like to be like, and even if you did it or didn't do it, be swayed by what they think you're supposed to be doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I'm definitely living through. Like I know I should be making a decision, but I've maybe made the mistake of asking too many people for their opinions
Right.
um,
Right.
about
And then you get
job
like,
decisions.
yeah. And then you start doing their decisions instead of your
Yeah,
decision.
yeah. Then I'm just like, well, what am I supposed to do? Because every other, even like my different mentors, like they tell me different things. So I'm like
Of
very
course. Yeah.
opposite things. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Right. And then your right is like you're the one who
Mhm.
knows.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
need to muscle test.
Yeah,
The
totally. Or
hearing.
just like get present. Like I find sometimes since having TUI and being more tired, I actually am like more indecisive. I've gone back to like some old patterns on that. And so
Mhm.
then I have to be like, okay, what will help me just get really clear? And I'm like, I just like go outside. I like take a few deep breaths with him. And then I'm like, okay, like I do know. And
Mhm.
like just to, like for you, Jenny, to trust that you do know.
Mhm.
Way. Okay. And then third one is a festival celebration, right?
Should have said two. I can't come
Yeah.
up with the third one. um, I want to say celebrate is still the third one.
Okay. Yeah. What do you need to celebrate?
Um, it's to celebrate what I currently have,
Hmm.
like a good paying job. My bosses are very caring and they care about my development and
Mhm.
offers me opportunities, even though I think they know very well that I'm looking outside
Yeah.
and celebrating. I have friends who are willing to like have dinner with me on a with a
Mhm.
2 day notice.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, amazing. Yeah, so like just it's really a celebration of like gratitude is what I'm hearing then.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Okay, good job. Awesome. All right,
Yeah.
so then just make sure you seal that up. Um, yeah. And then Sandy, do you have time to stay on to do some of yours? Okay. Okay, we'll just go like 10 minutes. So we'll just kind of get through what we can. And I know you guys, I wanted to get Jenny's fully complete so everyone can see that whole picture. And then we'll do some of yours, Sandy. If we don't get all the way through, then like you guys would complete. And for those of you watching, is to take yourself through this
Yeah.
and then reach out, right? To make sure if you haven't, if you're like, I can't figure out the last thing,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. Okay, so let's do your map, Sandy. So what's in how many incorrect things?
2,
Sandy, okay. Two. Okay. And then how many correct things?
2,
Two. Okay. And then what about stolen or lost?
1.
Okay.
And the last one is 3.
Okay. Three. I put rituals. Maybe it is rituals,
Yeah.
festivals. Okay. All right. So I'm actually hearing, let's see. Do we need to do one? We also need to find out your stolen lost first. So what, has it been stolen or lost?
I feel like it's been lost.
It's been lost. Okay. And so what was lost?
This is something I've been working on, and I'm talking to somebody about. I think especially post-COVID times, I think like even me going to these events is like the whole freedom to like explore and be like out in the world.
So you've lost the freedom, but you are out in the world. So what is it that's lost?
What happens at lost?
Like this is, I'm just gonna look here because we haven't talked about the dating. Is it like the dream of your partner? Is it your partner himself, like that person is lost? Like is like something lost around that piece of your vision?
Yes, because I've been taking action, but still haven't. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Does it feel real to you? Is it the dream that's lost, or is it the actual like partner is lost?
I think the dream I have right now. I think over the summer. Yeah,
Feels lost, like
yeah,
it's not lost. Okay, yeah, the dream of the partnership. Okay.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And sometimes you're just like, okay, yeah, I lost that. So now I have to come back and
Back.
yeah,
Yeah.
and bring that back. Okay, good. So let's check. So what's the first incorrect thing you're harvesting?
Um. First,
Yeah, what are you currently harvesting that's incorrect for your life?
I think it's. I think we've talked about before. I think, and it's still spinning my brain, and the fact that I don't need anybody, but I want somebody. That whole, yeah, I can do it by myself, kind of. The
Okay.
I'm okay by myself.
Okay, so like that anti-vision, you're still harvesting that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and of course you can be by yourself. And do you want to be? You
No.
know, like,
Yeah.
and I'll just give you an example because I want you guys to think about this. So a few weeks ago, I had like an infection from breastfeeding. And so, I called in and they're like, you need to go, you should see a doctor tonight. It's like 9 p.m. I'm like, oh, like you want me to go to the ER? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay, great. Like I didn't want to go. And then because I had, Tui was not vaccinated and I was like not about to bring him to the ER. So Michael couldn't go with me. So I had to go by myself. And when I was doing it, when I was driving there, it really reminded me of when I was single and I had to do things alone. And so, Michael talked to me the whole way, but like he still couldn't be there with me. And so that it's like that. Like, of course I can. And I did, but that's not what I desire. Do you see what I'm saying? So that, can you see how that, what's happening for me is like the picture for you is like, well, I just am gonna do it by myself because there's nobody there to support me. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I just really want that to land that for you because it's like, of course you can. And I did. Like, I went to the ER by myself. I was like, this isn't the handbook for parenting. Nobody wrote because they don't want to tell you you have to go to the ER by yourself. And like, you don't want to go to I mean, whatever. Many people have gone to the ER by themselves or like whatever, but like, that's not the preference.
Yeah.
My preference is my husband was with me in the car and drove me instead of going with an infection to the ER to get antibiotics. Like I didn't want to go by myself, right? So can you see this is like it's like Sandy, it's like you're letting that anti-vision of like, well, I'll just drive myself to the ER instead of like, no, I have a partner who like loves me and is gonna take me. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. That you just needed to see that picture a little differently so you could really start to get rid of it, right? Like really,
Yeah.
I'm not going to harvest that photo, that picture anymore.
Vision. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So then what's the first correct thing that you need to harvest this fall?
Is I think it's part of the anti-vision. It's like I deserve love and I choose love. I mean, I deserve it and I want it, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I want love. Like I desire like like yeah, I want love. I like that is what's correct for you. Like I want love and I get to have love. Like all the pieces for you around that. I want and get to have love. Yeah. Okay, good. Ooh, that feels good. Okay, good. So what's the second incorrect thing you're harvesting then?
Uh I think the second incorrect. I think that's as with this potential career move again is the title versus like the job, the money in the title thing
Mm-hmm.
because I and now knowing and I think we talked about the kind of the achievement part of it's like I'm not sure if I need to explore this more like am I going to go for this role again because I want to prove that I get that title
Right.
whether or not I can do the job right but and I think I need to just somebody just reach out to say yeah
Well, you're harvesting like a non-godly decision,
y- yeah
right? Like it's not God directing you to this job.
yes
It's like the other lower personality stuff. Okay, so
yeah
because like we like in Geotran this summer we were working on quality decisions, and so it's
y-
like a non-quality decision, but
yeah
quality decisions are always based on like what does God want you to do,
yeah
and you're asking yourself like, what do I want to do? But it's not based on what God wants for you. Does that make sense? So you're
yeah
harvesting like I'll call it like a non-godly decision
yeah
or a non-happy face decision.
yeah
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, good. And so then what's the second correct thing for you to harvest this fall then? 3 months. You get to do this for the next 3 months.
is and I think one of the lessons learned from acting is the whole having making time and space in my life whatever that is whether it's for family for dating for going to Vancouver and being away for 2 weeks and being offline because I'm the yeah and yeah it's literally having that space in my life or making that space in my life for non-work not non-work like work is not life does not equal work yeah
Okay, so the correct thing is life is more than work.
yeah
Yeah. Yeah, and I would challenge you. This is like just a fun practice thing, Sandy. Can you like start conversations with people and not start with work? Like you're like, what am I going to talk about? Anything else, right? Except for work. Like just to practice it. Just be like, okay, next time I socialize with somebody and they ask, how you doing? You're going to talk about not work.
I went to the museum and I saw
Yes,
this.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
walked on the trail. I saw the
Yeah.
birdies. Yes.
I mean, do you really like it when you talk to somebody and they start telling you about work? Do you like it? I don't like it. I'm always like, oh, it sounds kind of boring. Like even though like it's interesting, right? Because work is very consuming and like life is so much more than work. Yeah. Okay. So, and that's exactly what you get to harvest now that life is more than work. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. And then I would say for you, I feel like you can get those right celebrations, festivals for yourself. Like
I
just
have already
you
identified.
already,
Yeah.
oh, okay, perfect. Well, tell us what they are.
Basically, and these are really good ones for me, is I'm going to the Bay Area this weekend actually because it's my sister's last chemo
Oh,
session. So she wants me to be there to help the gong, that part of
yeah,
it. So
celebrate that. Yes.
yes. And then
Amazing.
actually this
Ring
weekend
the
I
bell.
ring the bell, ring the gong, all that stuff. Another thing this weekend, I'm going to the Bay Area chapter of the Asian American Journalists Association. They have settling of their 40th anniversary party in Japantown.
Oh, fun. That's a festival. Yeah.
Yes, and for me, it's how I got involved in the organization as an 18-year-old. So again, because of them, I'm going to be one of the I think members from student to senior citizen. Uh, And then last but not least is September was 4 years ago is when I moved into my new townhome. Uh,
Oh,
so I got
fun.
the keys in like August, but physically didn't move until. So it's like, oh, this is my place, and literally is
Totally.
my place. So those are three like things for me to celebrate.
Awesome. Okay, I love that. Those are great celebrations. Amazing.
So
Good.
yeah,
Awesome. So fun. Well, great work, both of you. And then those you watching, like make sure you do, you have the whole fall to do it, but I do really like to start the fall off, like getting really clear on these things. And then we can go deeper. And what we'll do next month, is some more deeper abundance work. So when we're doing our harvest and things, like how do we just now bring that abundance piece into it as well? So yeah, and amazing. It's
great.
so fun to see you all. Thanks for being in my first post baby. Like, I mean, the other one I was into, but he was with me. So this one is just like me coming back into the Zoom world with all of you and doing it. So yeah.
Thank you. Thanks,
Yeah, you're
Nicole.
welcome. We'll be in touch with lots more stuff to come.
All
And
right.
yeah,
It,
have a great.
enjoy Boston, Jenny.
Enjoy the bay. I'm
I
coming back
will.
on Sunday, so I'll text you to see if you're still here.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye. Welcome back, Nicole.
Thank you.
Welcome.